So, sup guys, welcome to another episode of the podcast. So today I've got MTP Fitness, which we sort of laughed about the other day. I only found out his name was Marius. But yeah, no, really been fortunate to get Marius on. So Marius, if you just want to sort of say like who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Marius. I am a fitness blogger. I make YouTube videos, I post Instagram pictures, so a lot of my content is around fitness. I also do some general vlogging and stuff like that. I've also recently started up my own company, so I'm now doing marketing and videography as a job, so we will see a lot of that in my content coming forward as well, but predominantly fitness content.
Yeah, so me and Marius were just speaking about this opportunity that he's got, which is amazing. And before we kind of touch up on it, something like this doesn't happen kind of overnight. You've been doing YouTube for 2 years, have you?
Yeah, just over 2 years now. 2 years, I think 2 years and 2 months or something like that. Yeah.
And how did you kind of get into it in the first place? Like, what was the kind of reasoning and the idea behind it?
So I've watched YouTube literally since I can remember, like probably about 10 years now. Sort of all the different generations and genres, from gaming to like me and my friends just like gaming videos back in the day, so I had a channel for that, and all the different kind of things. And then as I was watching more and more and more, I remember there was a video maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when Christian was like, no, there's no point in starting fitness stuff now, it's too oversaturated, and that's what put me off of it then, when I was going to start out my fitness journey. And then I was sitting just over 2 years ago with my girlfriend, and I was just saying, I was like, I really wish I could do it, and I was like, I don't want to look in like 2 years time, so like now, and be like, oh, I wish I started it then. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And obviously I've progressed since and learned a lot since. I've taught myself loads of stuff, so it's been a fantastic journey to go on, and I've learned so much. But yeah, it was basically just more of a case of I didn't want to look back and regret and think I never tried it. At least if I tried it and it never went anywhere, then what am I going to lose? Like, all I've wasted is maybe some money and equipment and some time, whereas I've lost absolutely nothing. If anything, it's completely changed where I am.
Yeah, and what you're doing, you're kind of, we spoke about this the other day, you kind of like make memories, like you can look back on it and be like, you know, I did that and it was quite cool. I think that's frustration, especially like when I sort of started my YouTube channel. Like you said, everyone was saying like it's oversaturated and like too many people are doing it, but like you could say that about anything. You could say that if you start an Instagram page, you'd be like, oh my god, millions and millions of people do it. Is that going to stop you? And that shouldn't do at all.
No, definitely not. And the amount of people I've seen come up in the time since I've started mine, which just shows it's not oversaturated. Yeah, there is tons of channels, and I don't know this exact statistic, there's thousands of channels getting made a day on YouTube, for instance, but if you think about it in the sense that I don't see YouTube going away anywhere, so obviously the people who are at the top are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, but there's going to be space for those kind of that middle ground where they're at just now, and it's only just, there's going to be more and more space for it as more and more people are watching it and as it becomes more sort of everyday life. So I don't think it is oversaturated anymore. I think it is very, very busy, but I can only see the space available becoming bigger.
So you watch people, or did watch, sorry, like people like Guzman and people like that to kind of inspire you in terms of, because you're from Scotland, right? Yeah. The accent. Was there anyone kind of that was doing YouTube at that time from Scotland that was quite, because like for example like Ireland you have like Rob Lipsett, for example. Is there anyone like in Scotland that does that?
No, there's like one big girl now who everybody kind of knows with makeup and things like that, called Jane Genevieve. But in terms of Scottish content creators when I started, there was, I actually can't think of any that I knew of at the time. And in terms of Scottish content creators now on YouTube, I know of like 4, 5 around sort of in the same sort of ballpark. In terms of the big ones, there's literally only like one. There's such a market for it in Scotland. It's just obviously people need to get over the accent first. But there's definitely, I think, in Ireland, Dublin especially, people start to go up, obviously all over England, especially like London, there's tons. In Scotland, there really isn't. So I think it's like, it's only going to go up.
Yeah, definitely. I think we spoke, like when we spoke the other day, the first couple of minutes, I was like, excuse me, what did you say? Like, but you kind of toned it down a little bit. I can understand a little bit. I don't need the sort of subtitles anymore. So.
You guys make it sound so harsh, but like when you guys speak, but mine isn't that bad. I don't think I'm that heavy Glaswegian. I'm not as bad as some people, but I try my best.
Yeah, no, you're fine, So in terms of the YouTube videos that you do, how would you kind of describe your style? Like, what do you do?
So I do fitness related stuff involving like my day-to-day life and how fitness is incorporated into that, and I think that's probably the best way to look at it. It's never going to be, as much as it's called MTP Fitness, it's never going to be a channel that's just about fitness, so I'm never going to post like just fitness related content sort of 4 days a week or anything like that. It's more about how I incorporate fitness into my life, so how I talk about dieting in my life and how I talk about like doing the exercises in my life. So there's going to be a lot of vlogs whenever I go away on holiday, as we talked about, sort of making that visual memory book. I do that. So yeah, it's more just sort of vlogging, incorporating fitness into the vlogs as well.
So let's kind of like talk engagement and kind of the type of videos that get views, and I think that's the only one problem with social media, especially with like not just like pictures, videos and all sorts. A type of video gets better engagement. So as the other day I was sort of scrolling through your YouTube, that I noticed that you did a video, I can't remember if it was a year ago or something like that, your 10,000 calorie challenge. Yeah. Again, it wasn't quite 10,000, was it? It was about 14,000 views. Yeah. When you do a kind of day vlog, how many you kind of get in, and why do you think that is with the kind of YouTube?
So it totally varies for a vlog, and it can be anywhere from sort of 100 views to some of them, the more popular ones have over 1,000 now. And obviously the videos accumulate views over time. So my vlogs that were posted around the same time maybe have 1,000 views now. So if you look at it that way, it's got 14 times more the amount of views. Yeah, it's frustrating that stuff like that gets the views. I suppose that's why everyone does them. Nobody's going to enjoy eating 10,000 calories in front of a camera. It's kind of a weird thing to do. And as much as I've definitely eaten more than that, just sitting in my house, seeing when I snack a camera in your face, it's weird. But it's a bit frustrating that you can do something so pointless and so stupid, and then you get 14 times the engagement and views that you would have anything else.
It's strange that I can't put my finger on it. Like when I was speaking to Carly the other day about it, and she said, "Why would somebody like enjoy like watching?" And I can't explain it, but I do enjoy it. I admit I'm a culprit. Like it's so strange. Like, and I even watch ones where it's like 20,000, or like there's some guys who've done like 40,000 or something like that. Where I thought I could eat a lot, but it's crazy that fitness people do that, because like, and for yourself, fitness is all about like promoting like a healthy lifestyle and what you do. So why do you think people and like yourself kind of do those videos? Would you say it's like to get the engagement up? Do people kind of like notice you, that kind of one video gets you loads of subscribers?
Yeah, I would say if I just overall do it for other reasons, but I think 99% of the time it's for us fitness guys, it's probably the easiest way to bring in some views and some attention. Like for instance, like Raw Lips has a couple of million views per thing. He got in the newspapers because of it. So I think the main thing would be that hopefully would attract viewers and subscribers who would then see the quality content that you put out regularly and then would become engaged with that. Whether or not that works is another matter, but that's I guess the game plan behind it.
So in terms of your subscribers, so you've got I looked before this, you've got 722.
Yeah.
Excuse me. How's that kind of flowed over the last couple of years? So do you suddenly get like a whole load of subscribers? How do you kind of like, how do you go around to kind of building your YouTube channel?
So there's been peaks and troughs. So obviously at the very beginning when I started posting it, like people who knew me or whatever, they wanted to see what was going on. So the videos were getting a significantly higher amount of views than they do now per video. As a result of that, YouTube suggestion, and as a result I got quite a few subscribers. And then there was periods of times like the 10,000 calorie challenges where I did get again quite a few per day. And then there's times I didn't get so many. And the biggest advice I can give is that when you get those periods of times where let's say you're gaining 2 or 3 a day, that you need to capitalise on that by then increasing your productivity or increasing your schedule or making sure you stick to it. Whereas I fell off, and I think quite a lot of people do it. I can't explain why. You do just kind of, unless you really push yourself, tend to fall off from the schedule. And as a result of that, it went from like 3 a day, and then all of a sudden 0 a day, 0 a day, 0 a day, and then something lose one. And then, it's just kind of peaks and troughs. But it's overall, obviously, I've got 720 from nothing in 2 years, which some people might not see as a success, but I'm very happy with it. if I would have looked back 2 years' time and said in 2 years, would I be happy with that? I would have said, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's something that I was going to touch on in a second, was if you were to start up a YouTube channel now, what would you do differently to what you did 2 years ago? If there was anything.
What would I do differently? I don't know, because there's not maybe a whole lot of things I could have done differently. And it's not as if I had loads of people around me to do collaborations with, which I think is probably one of your biggest ways of growing. There still isn't that many about to do collaborations with in Scotland, so I couldn't have done that. Yeah, I probably could have learned better editing and things like that, but at the start it's not really that relevant. Like, people are going to only be interested in you if you're interested at all. I suppose the biggest thing would have been is to capitalise on the moments where you're getting the most attention. And I think that probably is by far the most important, because if you are getting, as I said, if you're getting an increased or heightened amount of views and subscribers, you need to make the most of that, because then it can get like a snowball effect. Like, your first 100 will be difficult, and then all of a sudden you jump from 100 to 200 super quick, then your 200 to 300 should be quicker if you capitalise. So that would be the biggest thing probably.
Yeah, no, I was speaking to someone the other day. This is more about online coaching, but kind of what would you do differently if you were an online coach? And again, it's like, it's ever changing, like, especially with social media. Social media is always changing. You can't be like the finished product. So, but no, wicked. So, with terms of your, like, going back to consistency, so for someone that's kind of starting up, like, what would you kind of suggest? Because YouTube videos, you have to be consistent. You can't suddenly go to like 2 or 3 months without posting a video if you kind of want to grow. So what would you tell someone that was like kind of starting YouTube? Like, how do you go around being consistent? Like, what's the steps that you take?
I would find a schedule that works for you and your lifestyle. So if you're working 5 days a week, you're obviously not probably going to have the spare time to post 4 videos a week. So I wouldn't even attempt to do that. Maybe you start with 1 video a week and see how that goes, and make sure you're uploading it and scheduling it for the same time each week. So it's like, maybe it's on Thursday at 6 PM. And then once you get into the habit of that, people know that's happening, you can sort of progress as you go. But just, I think consistency is key. So whether that's 1 video a week consistently, like the big girl I was talking about, Scotland, Jane Genevieve, I think she only posts once a week, and she has over 1 million subscribers. So it's just all about if the content appeals to the people and then staying consistent with it. Consistency will trigger YouTube algorithms as well. So if you're consistently posting once a week at the exact same day and time, then that will start to trigger the algorithms. But yeah, I would just say whatever works with your life, and then obviously you can build on that later on. But I wouldn't jump in too much and then have to backtrack. I would build it up the way.
And I definitely think kind of planning it out like takes a place. Like, for example, like for yourself, if you were to do a YouTube video, just say like you were to do like a vlog one for a whole day, how long does it all kind of take? So filming, editing.
So if I go about filming for a full day, it's a full day, so I'm going about my life and I'm filming it. So it could be 6 hours filming or 8 hours filming. Obviously, I'm not actually filming for 8 solid hours. I've got a camera with me and I'm filming parts for 8 hours. And then depending on what happens in the day, if I'm doing lots of fancier edits and music or whatever, that might take a few hours. So it can take anywhere really from sort of 2 to 8 hours editing. And the frustrating thing is obviously the views don't come in according to the amount of hours you spend. But I would say probably the average video for filming and editing takes about 4, with the higher end maybe being about sort of 16.
Yeah, because there's some people that might kind of put them off. I know, especially for me at the start, when I started my YouTube, that was when I started my contest prep. And with my one-to-one and everything that I was doing for that, it was so time-consuming. I think my very first video, all I was doing was the introduction. I was speaking for, like 15 minutes. I think I was like sitting down for about 2 hours because I was saying the same sentence over and over again. But like definitely, I think that can put some people off starting. And the thing is, you learn so much to begin with, and you find tricks and ways of kind of condensing it down. And definitely, would you say that, you know, just keep at it, keep consistent with it?
100%. Even small things like on your editing software, learning shortcuts. So at the very beginning, when I first started editing, I didn't know how to do like a shortcut to a different command. And those small shortcuts, like once you know you can just press a key to do a certain thing, that could take off, like that was taking off 10 minutes because at the very start I didn't know how to delete a clip. So every time I wanted to do something, I had to sit and Google it, then find out the instructions, go back onto the software and do it. So that's sort of 10 minutes to do one task, which now takes literally like 2 seconds. So it's like consistency and like self-development will then shorten the time process for it, but also make it better. So definitely just need to be consistent and keep going with it.
And kind of invest in it a lot, because you can't suddenly like, yeah, some people can get it straight away, but you can't really click your fingers and be like, right, I can do all of this in a super quick time. And I definitely think YouTube is the key to doing well at YouTube. Like, you can watch so many different, like you said, you just like invest in it and you learn and you watch different videos, and that's where you kind of pick up what you know. In terms of yourself, like, have you got like a degree or anything in like editing, or is it also kind of self-taught?
So I don't have any sort of formal qualification in anything to do with editing, filmmaking, photography, videography. I do have a degree in marketing and economics, but obviously it has absolutely nothing to do with my YouTube. It's all self-taught. I started off with an iPhone and having downloaded Final Cut, and then through watching tutorials and watching other people's videos, over the last 2.5 years, I've now got to the point where I consider myself to be pretty okay at it. Obviously, always learning, always improving, but it's just all self-taught over 2 years.
Yeah, and definitely for myself, like I spoke about this the other day, like people like, for myself, like TM Cycles, who is an online coach in the fitness industry, he is able to produce content but relatable to like any person that's interested, but he does it in such a clever way. And I think especially you really got to kind of watch people, see how they do it and apply it to yourself. Don't like copy them, like especially with TM Cycles, for example, you can't copy his personality. Like,
no, of course not.
I said this the other day, and I said, like, if I try to act like him, it just would be the biggest flop ever. And you've got to kind of, like, what would you say to someone like starting up? Do you kind of have to show your own kind of personality? How would you kind of go about doing that?
Yeah, you do, and I think that's something I still really struggle with. I actually, like, I get some people that say that I sound different and I talk different on camera, and I think I do, and I really do struggle to get my personality across when I'm speaking on the camera still. But I think that is the most important thing, because if you're not getting your personality across, you're either going to try and imitate someone, or you're just going to come across as like lifeless, and neither of those things are going to be appealing. Like, if you watch Ben Francis, the owner of Gymshark, he made a video the other day talking about how to become a sponsored athlete. He said that they already have an athlete actor, they don't want another one. So there's no point in trying to imitate them, because they've already got that space. So you need to be yourself and be unique, and realise that is your niche, that you are your own niche, regardless of what industry you're in, that nobody is you and nobody can be what you're doing. So your life is going to be different to everyone else's, and the way you talk about things and the way you see things is your niche.
Yeah, spot on. And I thought exactly the same. Like, I watched that yesterday, and you can't be like, for example, Nikki. You can't be like Nikki, and he was saying that so many people try and be like her, but you can't. You've got to be individual. You've got to show some sort of personality. All in Gymshark, you have all those different like kind of fitness influencers as such, but they're all different in a certain way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you notice that, like, you'll see all the many Nickies on Instagram. I'm sure you'll see them yourself. All the exact same stuff, looking the exact same, talking the exact same, just like Ben said. But you know yourself, the people that you follow are all going to be different, and that's the people with content you're going to get most interested in. And for me personally, that's the same. I don't want to follow 5 Christians. I don't want to follow 2 Mariuses. You want to follow that person because that's what they're good at, and then you follow other people because they're interested for their own reasons.
And definitely, like, if you kind of love, let's just go back to Nikki, for example, and you love how she does things, like, take some of that, apply it to yourself, but don't just do what she does. And that's what frustrates me the most about the fitness industry is, those people have taken a long period of time to kind of get where they are. Well, some might have done in a quite a short time, but the majority, it takes a long time to get to that kind of, like, sort of stage, for example. There's no kind of shortcut. You can't suddenly, like, click your fingers and be like, that's exactly where I want to be at. It takes time and effort.
Yeah, 100%. And you will notice, like, see the more content you watch, you'll see how even the big YouTubers take inspiration from people, but they never directly copy their style. So, for instance, I don't know if you watch a guy called Peter McKinnon at all. No, right. He's a camera guy, and he makes videos about tutorials and stuff like that. But I know Max watches him. because Peter McKinnon puts up a tutorial on how to do something in editing, and the next day Max has it in his video, but Max puts his own spin on it. So see all the stuff when Max opens the door and goes into a new transition. He got that from Peter McKinnon's videos, but then obviously he's incorporated his own stuff, so now he talks about his iPad, and that's his new transition and all that kind of stuff. So it's about taking good things and then putting your personality to it.
No, exactly that. In terms of marketing, you said you got a marketing degree.
Yes.
So in relation to kind of like your YouTube videos, say for example you've just filmed, edited a YouTube video, how do you go about sort of promoting that video? How do you kind of market it? Like what social media tools do you use?
So I've tried a lot of different things. I was doing, the main thing for me is Instagram and Twitter, so I tweet out the link and I also post my Instagram bio, and then I tend to post Insta stories beforehand, like people know when it's going to go live. I tend to post an Insta story when it's live, and then if I can I'll post an Instagram as well with something about it in the description. I use my Facebook page as well, and then I share that with my personal Facebook. But I've also experimented with lots of different things, so I've experimented with Reddit, which I still don't have a clue how that works. I've experimented with online forums, I've experimented with Facebook groups, and none of which have really worked for me. The main things I think are the obvious things: Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and I think that's pretty obvious. You can build up some sort of audience then when you can then post videos, then you can try to take that audience and put it over there. So.
And in terms of kind of what you've learned before in the past, like what do you know now in terms of kind of marketing, promoting, and what kind of works to what you perhaps didn't know when you first started out?
That's a good question. I don't know, I think there's quite a few different things. Like I do cringe watching my own videos, but some of them, as much as like the titles are super cringe-worthy, I understood the fact that keywords need to be in the title in order to get views. So I would have things like most epic insane back day ever, and it wasn't the most epic insane back day ever, but those videos
you doing pull downs.
Those videos have 10 times the views that my new videos do because I'm not using those keywords. So there is keywords that you can use to make your videos come up more in search results. But I would think it's just really, again, it's consistency. And it's more the fact you need to understand that even like, for instance, if you're like me and YouTube is what you want to do at some point, and I don't really care for Instagram too much, but I understand that Instagram is going to be a key component of building my YouTube audience, and it's all part of the one package. So I think it's really just understanding that you need to be able to do them all. You can't just do one. And if you do just do one, it will take so much longer to build up an audience and do them all.
Mm-hmm. In terms of sort of starting up as well, so there is so much kind of like sort of technology out there, you know, the right camera. I know you posted a picture of Instagram yesterday of your new camera, which looks so sick, but do you think someone that's starting off, do they need that? Like, do they need like a MacBook, for example? And
I think if you obviously need some sort of decent enough laptop or computer to do some editing on. If you've got like a £200 laptop, odds are it's not going to be able to do very much. So I think in terms of computers or laptops, it's maybe more you do need something pretty good, because you can Google what the basic specs are, but MacBook Pro's very comprehensive, and if you're going to go down it, MacBooks are probably easier to start out in video editing on. In terms of cameras, you definitely don't. For my YouTube stuff, I don't even need the camera that I have, especially with my audience size. It's the same camera that like Christian sometimes uses, that Max uses. There's no need for me to have it, but I now do work with it, so that's why I got it. An iPhone is more than enough. My iPhone 8's video is pretty compatible, and especially if you have like one of the 7 Pluses or 8 Pluses or the iPhone X, the video on them is so good. And I started out, I think it was actually an iPhone 4S I started out on, or maybe it was a 6, I can't remember. And the video on that was even okay, and you definitely do not need to invest in camera equipment at the start. If you have money and you need to invest it, if you don't have a laptop or something, I would prioritise that at the start, but your smartphone would definitely be more than enough.
I think it must be quite good as well, like if you do a day vlog as well, you don't have to whack out this massive camera, you can just use your iPhone.
Yeah, it fits in your pocket. That's like a massive thing as well. Is you don't nobody. I mean, don't get me wrong, people still look at you, but you can just see your FaceTime people or something like that. It's a lot more inconspicuous, and as you said, it fits in your pocket.
So in terms of like when you first started YouTubing as well, people's kind of friends, family's opinions, how was that? Because that's like that was always one of my biggest concerns when I started doing my sort of Instagram, social media. It's always what people think. When I was younger, I was a lot worse. I kind of got over it, but it's still in the back of your mind. And I think that plays a part in a lot of people, that whether they want to do YouTube, social media. So when you first started, what were kind of people's opinions of what you do? And did that kind of affect you at all? Or?
So I think there was a lot of mixed opinions. I think the majority of it was probably more just interest and like people wondering what is this boy doing posting these videos. I've definitely had some negativity, and I know that the majority of the negativity, nobody's ever said anything to my face. I had a couple of direct negative comments on my first videos from people that I knew of, but then they never said anything to my face. But I know of people having said negative stuff. I genuinely just don't care, and I think if you go into it that you're going to care what people are going to say, then you're in the wrong thing, because you are, like, you see so many people say that if you're gaining an audience and you're not, you have to expect that not everyone's going to agree with what you say, or not everyone's going to like you. So if you're into a space like YouTube where you're wanting to build an audience and you're putting yourself out to the public, you have to accept that you're going to get negative stuff. But I think it was generally quite mixed. But my family was super supportive, and as we spoke about last time, both of our mums are subscribed to our channels. My mum watches, I think, most of my videos, if not all my videos. My brother watches my videos as well. I'm used to watching with his flatmates. And my girlfriend has been super supportive. Her mum has watched some of them. My mum showed my gran the videos. So it's been cool from that point of view. And I think, yeah, you just need to not care. Because if you care, like what are you going to do? Like, so what?
That's exactly it. And like I said the other day that I brought my camera to the gym and I did like how to build your calves, for example, and like just a couple were just staring at me the whole time. You know, it's not like any day everyone you kind of glance over and it's just an automatic response, but they're just staring at me, kind of like what's he doing? But what I find frustrating is anyone in the fitness industry, or not just fitness, makeup, anything like that, everyone starts from somewhere. And how do you learn? Okay, you can learn by like reading, you can learn visually by YouTube. So if that wasn't available to yourself, not saying I'm going to teach everyone how to build calves or anything like that, but if you can help like somebody, like everyone was at that point before. And that's what's frustrating, when someone's so judgmental, they don't actually kind of remember, you know, like go back a couple of years, like where were you at? Like you were trying to learn as much information as possible. Things like YouTube are open for teaching people and motivating and things like that, and that's a little bit frustrating in terms of. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say that 100%, and to anyone that is starting and is getting negative stuff, you need to remember that everyone who's sort of made it has gone through that phase as well. Everyone has to start.
That's exactly it, mate. And in terms of family and friends, like I've spoken before, like friend-wise, you know, people drop out very, very quickly, and then suddenly you get a message like last week saying, okay, how did you do this, that, and the other, and it's just a bit. Yeah, it's a bit funny. So I'm just going to go into like a few questions that I asked through my story the other day. Who would you say is your favourite YouTuber or favourite YouTubers?
So I actually made a video on this. I have quite a lot. Between me and my girlfriend, we watch quite a lot of different stuff. But people like Christian and Max, and then I've got people like, I watch some like car videos as well. So there's like a guy called TGE, there's Supercars One, I quite enjoy their videos. I like people like Yoon Olsen, what else I thought? Oh God, I don't know, I watch a lot of YouTube, honestly. I've subscribed to like 400 or 500 people, I think. So over the years, so I have quite a lot of people. They're probably the main ones I watch.
So you're not just fitness, you're a mixture of like people from all different walks of life.
Yeah, so I watch, and now especially with having like over the last few years, my hobbies have developed. So like I now really enjoy the sad as it sounds, camera videos and like editing videos. I subscribe to people for camera tutorials and editing tutorials. I then subscribe to people for car content, because after passing my test I got really into cars and I like cars a lot. I watch vlogs, I still watch some gaming content, not as much, but I still do watch some. I also watch fitness related content, and just a real, honestly, my subscription is just a mix of a bit of everything.
Yeah, likewise myself. Probably, yeah, I don't really watch, mine's mainly fitness, to be honest. Yeah. The time that I kind of do have, I don't have loads of time to watch like YouTube, which is frustrating because before I did, whereas not as much now. But like, yeah, people, I said about TM Cycles, just because he does like a 10 to 15 minute video. In there is so like, he takes a lot from bodybuilding and condenses it down so it's easy to understand. You know, I can't really read an article about the effects of blah blah and note that down. I have to read it quite a few times, whereas I can just watch his video and it's in, and I've learned something. People like Guzman, I've kind of gone off him a little bit, just because he's all about kind of promoting his stuff and what he does, which he's got a full right to do that, and he's got the position to do that. But yeah, a couple of years ago, I perhaps preferred him a little bit more, but I'm still pretty knowledgeable. Where do you kind of see yourself in 5 to 10 years' time?
5 to 10 years' time. Well, hopefully doing YouTube full time, or if not doing it full time, like doing it the majority of the time. Definitely want to see myself as a business owner. Hopefully sooner than that, but I would like to see myself sort of between doing YouTube and running a business or businesses. I'd like to also have invested in property, maybe do some property management stuff. But yeah, sort of across those things. But hopefully I would love to be doing YouTube full time, and I think probably 5 to 10 years is probably pretty achievable. I hope. We'll see. We'll come back in 5 to 10 years time and see.
Yeah, we'll do another podcast and see where we're at. And how old are you now?
Did you say old? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 22.
22. Oh, sweet, bro.
How old are you?
23. Just 23.
You look older.
I look older.
Yeah, it's the beard.
It's the beard gains. Yeah.
I can't get it.
Well, the thing is, this is just like fluff. Like, this won't. Like, I was speaking to someone the other day about it. They were like, "You're gonna have to keep shaving it off to make it grow back quicker." But like, honestly, mate, I did that last year. I clean shaved and I just looked. Like, the thing is, my ears, right, and my nose are quite big. So when I've like got nothing there, all you can see is my nose and my ears. As stupid as it sounds, but yeah, this ain't ever coming off. So
what's your plan in 5 to 10 years, and where do you think you'll be?
So it's a hard one, and I spoke to a guy called Sam Marius about this. The fact that with what I do, you're gonna have to kind of like play it by ear and just go with the flow and just see where it takes you. But I'd love to be an online coach full time, or not necessarily full time, but take up most of my time. I'm slowly kind of transitioning it from my one-to-one to now. So yeah, online coaching, I'd love to be doing that. I would like to kind of compete in a couple years, sort of maybe 2020 I've got my eyes on, and then 2 or 3 years after that, and kind of really all kind of like, not necessarily make a name for myself, but to do well. Bodybuilding isn't everything for me, but competing and doing well for myself and my family, and that will be ace. And just having my own brand and kind of, yeah, just going with the flow of that. And like I said, hopefully I'll still be with Carly if she puts up with me.
Yeah, and you promised it just in case Jen watched this, I hope I'll still be with Jen too. Like, after you said that, tell me who's that.
Well, this is quite funny, yeah. Like, Carly didn't watch the podcast with Cam, so she's not watching it. So I can literally say whatever I want. This is the only time that I have free. Like, she stalks me, everything else, but she don't watch the podcast, so I'm safe.
That's fine. You can say whatever you want then, so you can tell your company and she won't watch
it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, wicked, mate. So, final question. We've kind of touched on this, but I just want one kind of straightforward answer if you can. So the question was tips for someone just starting YouTube. So let's just say you had to give one tip. What would that one tip be?
Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's statistics for it, but it's like the first year. So if you give up in the first year, you're just going to become another statistic. It's not easy at the start. It's really, really not, and it's crap when you're putting out stuff that you think is really good and you're getting no response or very little response. But if you give up, then nobody will find it. You just need to not give up.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I put a YouTube video up on how to grow your calves. I've only got like 45 views. I think like everyone wants bigger calves. Like, just want the views to go.
If you can grow mine, that'll go viral.
Yeah, Project Marius's calves.
Yeah, exactly.
For myself, it would just be gaining as much knowledge as possible, and not through just like one person. Like, if you're obsessed with Christian Guzman, that's all good, but you're just going to do things that he's going to be doing. Just learn from, like what you do, and you learn from all different types of people, and just pick that up and apply that to yourself. So But yeah, wicked, mate. I think I'll end it there. But we spoke about before that, you know, potentially I'll come to, me and Kylie want to go up to Scotland for ages, so potentially we'll do something with that.
100%. Come up and we'll get some angles hit and we'll get a sick edit done.
We'll use a new lens.
Yeah, we'll use the new lens. We'll get some Instagram content and go. It'll be classic. Come up.
How much did that kind of like cost you? Was it? Oh, okay, here we go. Is it a credit card?
No, business investments, let's call it that.
Oh, okay.
The camera gear is, it's about $5,000 the camera gear I've got.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
But it's an investment for an investment, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like a few different cameras, a couple of lenses, GoPro.
That's cool, man. That's cool. But it's what you're doing. You're doing it every single day, every single week. So, yeah, there's no problem with that at all. So, yeah, just out of pocket for a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
But no, Marius, mate, thank you so much for coming on. Anyone that like is wanting to get to YouTube, highly recommend checking Marius' channel out. Just because you do so much, you know, you don't just do one type of video, you do all sorts. And if you're kind of looking to grow your YouTube channel or anything like that, then yeah, just check Marius out. I'll link your YouTube in the bio, so make sure you check him out. So yeah, appreciate that so much, mate, and then we'll catch up soon. Yeah.
Yeah, see you soon, mate.
Yeah, wicked, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.